Hi everyone and welcome to the Facebook live session with me, Avanne Dubash. Like, comment and share this video, and I'll be giving you a snapshot of the markets as they shaped up in trade today, as well as looking at all of your comments. So let's just start off with the markets. It seems like we were in consolidation mode. We managed to hold on to the 10,700 mark by the time we shut shop, and you know, the kind of cues that we got from overseas was fairly positive, but despite that we didn't really see much gusto in the equity market. So 10,717 is where we closed. Very flat close for the broader end, for the Sensex as well. So that was at 35,200, and you had the mid and the small cap indices which saw absolutely divergent trends. So it was the small cap index that really managed to power ahead and outperform, while the mid caps looked a little bit quiet in trade today. PSU banks really led from the front. Real estate had a good run, as did the Nifty Bank. It was media, the MNC pockets, they continued to look quite tempered in today's session. Do remember to send across any comments that you may have, and of course we'll try to get that answered. Well, let's take a look as to which were some of the top gainers in today's trading session. That was ICICI Bank. It was your absolute star, and remember, there was so much trepidation going into the earnings for this one. I'm glad that Ambi has just asked about ICICI Bank, and that's exactly the stuff that I'm talking about right now. So what's happening in ICICI Bank? There's a board meet that has, by the way, been going on for quite some time. Today they are supposedly meeting for the second time. This is in order to discuss the overall Videocon loan case issue in greater detail. Wonder if there's going to be anything else that emerges. Yesterday the numbers came out. There was a 50% drop in the overall profits, but that, remember, was pretty much on expected lines. So brokerages gave the numbers quite a bit of a thumbs up. In fact, they said that it was on pretty much unexpected lines. A lot of the brokerages across the board maintained a buy on the stock still, despite the kind of earnings that it declared. And yesterday, when Chanda Kochhar was questioned in the press conference post the meeting, she spoke a lot about the earnings and said that as of now, when it comes to her plans in the company, the board has made the full and final decision, and as of now that stands. So that was what was going on with ICICI Bank. I think a little more clarity will be required. And then of course you had HPCL, which did a good job today. Eicher Motors, by the way, it's all ready to put out its numbers tomorrow, so it's going to be very closely watched out for. So keep an eye out on Eicher Motors. Today the stock was in focus. Let's just, Rajesh is asking a comment on Hind Petro. Well, HPCL, BPCL, IOC, the entire oil marketing basket is definitely going to be impacted on account of the way the crude oil prices have been shaping up. Remember, we're talking about $75 a barrel, and one wonders whether this is a short-term phenomenon or not. But yesterday we spoke with Mr. R.S. Sharma as well, who's of the view that as of now, seeing an excise duty hike, we don't know whether that's really going to happen. But a lot of these stocks are definitely contingent on what's going on with crude oil prices. Let's also take a look as to some of the other movers and shakers in trade today. IOC was another smart gainer. You had SBI, BPCL. Yes, all of those oil marketing companies were active in trade today. M&M, on the other hand, that was in slowed down in trade today. L&T was looking a little bit tempered. You had Infosys, which was in the limelight on the downside. Something like a Bajaj Finance was a bit weak, as well as Tata Motors and IndusInd Bank. Let's address a question coming in on Tata Motors. Well, remember, this one hasn't been all that encouraging within the auto space, but all in all, you have seen CV sales growth improving across the board. New launches, all of that is really going to aid the company, so we'll have to watch out how all that shapes up. Newsmakers today, you had GCPL, which put out its numbers, and it was a pretty decent show. But remember, for all of these consumption names, it was a base effect that really managed to aid the kind of earnings that we saw this time around. So that really helped to GCPL. Jubilant Foods as well, strong same-store sales growth. The overall earnings as well were fairly robust. You had PNB Housing, which was under pressure. Carlyle offloaded nearly a 5% stake in that stock. A question coming in on, you had AB Capital, which was in focus as well in trade today, and that came out with its earnings. HEG put out an absolutely phenomenal set of numbers. You had Sanofi as well, which was in focus on the back of its earnings, and something like a Kajaria as well, which put out its quarterly earnings. Let's run you through some of the other mid-caps that were in focus today. You had something like a GVK Power, which rallied quite smartly. Inox Leisure saw a very smart gain. In fact, tomorrow we will be interacting with the management on the market. You had KRBL, which was active, something like a Graha Finance, Questcorp, SRF, Concor as well. Jubilant Foodworks, Anand Kumar asked, Jubilant was a good result but it went down. May I know the reason? You know, it's really hard to say as to why the stock didn't really give a big thumbs up. Perhaps because the street had factored in a very good number. You know, yesterday already the stock had hit a life high. So I think it was all baked into the price, perhaps, which is why you saw a bit of a correction kicking in. And remember, even when it comes to the valuation picture for a lot of these companies, there are big question marks as to whether it's already priced to perfection. I'm sorry, I don't take questions on mutual funds right now, so won't be able to address that. We're talking pure equities. Numbers tomorrow, and there's a whole host of them. There's Eicher Motors, JSPL, Arvind, Federal Bank, Magma Fincorp, all of which will be declaring their Q4 numbers. So stay tuned to 18 hours to watch that. Thanks for watching the video. Do share, like, and comment.